this is a platform that will give leaders a place to convey their development agenda, their transformation agenda, and other matters that touch us in society. So asante for the invite.
Asante sana for the flowers. Tunashukuru. By hosting you, you're also promoting us.
Sure.
Tunashukuru sana.
I appreciate it.
Now, watch at once the show sasa. Who is Honorable Timothy?
My full name is Toroitich. I am the Member of Parliament representing Marakwet West. But to put it clearly, I am a member of the National Assembly representing. So you see, when you say Member of Parliament, you can either be a senator or a member of National Assembly.
So to put it clearly, I am the senator for the Republic of Kenya, elected by the people of Bosnish.
I think they're just trying to magnify what it is not. A senator is a senator. Someone who is in Senate is called a senator. Someone who is in the National Assembly is called member of National Assembly. But generally, of course, they are members of Parliament because we have a house. The Parliament is bicameral. We have the Senate and the National Assembly. So as much as we are members of of Parliament, when you are in the National Assembly, you are a member of National Assembly. Now, I'll say my full name is Timothy Kipchumba Toroitich, member of National Assembly representing Marakwet West. I'm also an advocate of the High Court of Kenya and a proud legislator in the Republic of Kenya, someone who stands, who upholds and protects the Constitution of this great republic. That is my work in Parliament. Yeah, to defend, to protect, and to uphold our Constitution.
So, maybe before we get there, tafadhali tuambie, how was life growing up? Uli grow up wapi, ukaenda shule wapi hadi ukafikia kuwa advocate of the High Court?
Yeah, I was born and brought up in a small village called Kabarmagai in the current Kuserwa location. That is in Marakwet West constituency. That is where I grew up. I was born and grew up. In early 90s, I joined a primary school called Kamasach Primary School. Thereafter, I did my class 8 in the year 2001 and joined MFA, Armed Forces Academy in Nairobi, for my high school. So I joined high school in 2002 and cleared in 2005. I passed well and was admitted to Moi University School of Law to pursue an LLB, that is a Bachelor of Laws degree in Moi University. And interestingly, in Moi University, that is where I met the immediate former speaker for Marakwet. I also met the controversial Nandi Senator, Samson Cherargei. Cherargei was a year behind me in university. So I am his learned senior, my learned junior. But sorry for another day. I also met, surprisingly, Murkomen, the current CS for Interior, was our lecturer. Yeah, that has been around 2009, 2010 in Moi University. And I'll tell you later how he inspired us to be the men here today. After that, I went to the Kenya School of Law because when you finish a 4-year degree course in law, you become a lawyer, not an advocate. When you finish a 4-year degree, you become a lawyer. So to qualify to be admitted to the bar as an advocate of the High Court of Kenya, you must transit to the Kenya School of Law, where that is a postgraduate diploma in law, to be admitted to the bar as an advocate of the High Court of Kenya. Ukiwa na watu anda Supreme Court wanainua Biblia, wanasema mimi Timothy Kipchumba Toroitich na hapa ya kwamba nitatumikia wa Kenya, you know, all those issues. So I was that is where I joined Kenya School of Law around 2011, 2012. Then in 2013, I was admitted to the bar by the then Chief Justice of the Republic of Kenya, Justice Willy Mutunga. And then I became an advocate of the High Court of Kenya, where I would now practice law. Thereafter, I joined briefly the firm of Kimaru Kiplagat and Company Advocates. That is, previously it was in National Bank Plaza, where I met many advocates there, worked together, and frequently, one evening, I saw an advertisement of the newspapers that the county assembly of Elgeyo Marakwet, devolution was still very new. Yeah, which in around September, I saw the advertisement. Then I applied for it. Was they were looking for a legal counsel, legal officer at the county assembly of Elgeyo Marakwet. Then I applied, and I was shortlisted, went for the interview, and was taken as the inaugural, meaning the first legal counsel to serve in the county assembly of Elgeyo Marakwet. And it was a very proud moment for me because I was a very young guy, around 26 years there, 26 and something. So I was the first legal counsel for the county assembly of Elgeyo Marakwet, and it was a proud moment because I established literally a legal department in that county assembly. I was the pioneer of many legislations at the county assembly. I was the one doing motions to members of the county assembly, statements, those questions, when I joined the county assembly of Elgeyo Marakwet. And even though I had gained interest in politics, I think that experience serving in the county assembly catapulted my interest more. Yeah, and I will tell you later why. So thereafter, after serving the county assembly for almost 9 years, I resigned in the year 2022 in February, and went to seek the goodwill of the people of Marakwet West, contest for the position of member of National Assembly. And I sincerely, from the bottom of my heart, thank the people, the great people of Marakwet West, despite the challenges that we will highlight later, that they elected me overwhelmingly via an independent ticket to be their member of National Assembly. It is something that I am very proud of.
Ukaenda kuvaa na independent.
Yes. Now, what happened is, of course, as any other candidate, there is a presumption in, for example, this region at that time, that you would not be elected to parliament. You are elected through UDA. And of course, I believed in the party. I knew that there would be fair and transparent nominations. But as the case was, it never was. And the entire process, in my own, and when I retired to write a book on my political journey, the experience of the nominations will capture or will appear in a full chapter. Because, yes, I can tell you, my brother Sambai, that we had challenges. The process was not fair, was not transparent, was not credible, and that is why, at the final, when I went and contested as an independent candidate, the difference, the person that won the nomination won by a margin of 500 votes. But when I contested through independent ticket, the margin was over 10,000. Can you imagine the difference? So, meaning apparently there was a problem with the nominations. But be that as it may, I appreciate, because the people saw the injustice that was there, and the same was addressed in the final elections. Yeah.
So you have that.
Yes. Let's say I practiced for some period of time, And then, of course, I worked in the county assembly, and then now the people of Marakwet West employed me to be the member of parliament.
Sasa
Yeah.
ukakuwa mjumbe.
Yes.
Sasa umevai na independent ticket.
Yeah.
How was your experience being a member of parliament?
One, somebody is that you must love your job. You must. It is not easy. There are challenges that comes with it, but you must love your job as a member of parliament, because one is a private life where you come from work at 5 p.m. you go home, you go and relax with your children. This one you must it is sacrifice, because working for and on behalf of the people that elected you. People need electricity, people need water, people need fair disbursement of bursary, people need to create employment in a way. So you committed to the work that you have been elected to do, and it is not an easy job. But I thank God for the grace that we've been able to have and to serve the people. And of course, there's a lot of criticisms in the work that we do, but you have to work hard and push for what you believe in.
Tumeona fanya kazi mingi kule Marakwet. Yeah. Unaweza tuambia what are achievements, notable achievements umeachieve as a member of parliament? The things that the people of Marakwet West asked you to negotiate for them.
First of all, a member of parliament, constitutionally, under the constitution, is elected to perform 3 key duties. One is legislation, to go to parliament and bring a legislation before the National Assembly, or bring proposals to amend a statute before the National Assembly, and also to ask questions, to raise statements, to bring a motion for the House. That amounts to legislation. Number 2 is oversight. Oversight, to ensure that a member of parliament, you oversight without and I will address it for you, because so that you understand what oversight means. Sometimes people imagine that if you perform your oversight mandate, then you are against the executive. It is not. A member of parliament is elected to oversight the executive. Number 3 is representation. A member of parliament, because one, there's something called a social contract theory. If you read a book by Thomas Hobbes, that a certain people regrouped and surrendered their powers to an individual to speak for and on behalf of them, to represent their views, their opinions, before the National Assembly. That is why when there's a problem in a particular constituency, the person who is entitled by law and the Constitution to represent those people is an elected representative. So that is the work of a member of parliament. And there is a problem in this country, Sambai. One is many people still live in pre-2010 constitution. Before the 2010 constitution, a member of parliament in this country was very powerful. Before the 2010 constitution, a member of parliament was very powerful. One, he was only elected representative in constituency. But after 2010, in each constituency, there's a governor who is elected within that constituency, even though he is a county leader, but is elected within that constituency. Number 2, we have a senator who is elected within that particular constituency. We have a woman representative, what we call a county MP. We have an MCA. So our people still believe that that a member of parliament is the one to carry the burden of development in a constituency. That is why you find that there is a lot of
Misinformation.
Our people still regard a member of parliament even as more powerful than a governor at some point. You can imagine, because they still live in the pre-2010 constitution. So, but to answer your question, one, after the UDA nominations, I say it as a member of parliament, I must be transparent and accountable in whatever I do to my people. To start with, on the issue of bursary, I mean CDF. CDF is a very important fund in this country. A very important fund in this country. So I made sure, for example, the issue of bursary disbursement in my constituency. In fact, the other day we had the report of the Auditor General. It gave us a clean bill of health. That Marakwet West is one of the most transparent constituencies in the disbursement of bursary.
Now, to me, a strategy.
One, we made sure that we go to every sub-location. Our team will go to every sub-location, and in that sub-location, we have divided the money equally and equitably. So ukienda mahali sub-location, unaambiwa Korongwe sub-location, muko na pesa yenu 680,000. Muende hapo mgawe. So wakienda pale wanagawa according to the number of the villages and those who are entitled to get. You know, those who are vulnerable. Yes.
What happens to kama kuna for example a sub-location, for example I can use huko kwetu.
Yeah.
There's a sub-location unaweza pata people are not that bad. Then unapata kwingine watu wengi sana wako chini.
One is we have a data of the number of people in the sub-location. So we give the bursary depending on the size. Yeah, we have a data. The size of the village, and of course the number of the people, the population in that particular village. So that kama ni tunapeana hii 480, another one 360, another one 500, another one 700, depending on the population. That is the fairness that we've introduced. And today, we have not had any complaint in terms of disbursement of bursary in my constituency. Number two, we give scholarships. I that they are people within the constituency who cannot afford to pay school fees for their children. So we have 58 sub-locations in my constituency. So what you said, we gave one scholarship per student in the sub-location, and they are now doing very well. Some are in Form 3 and they are doing very well. We examine results each and every time to see their performance in the constituency. Now, of course, in terms of projects, when I realized that some of our structures were dilapidated. Yeah, they were not in a very good condition. So right now, we are trying to do some renovations to structures that we think they are still firm structurally. So tunafanya renovation. Ukiona page yao, you will see the kind of work that we've done for renovation. Yeah. We are doing some very good work in Marakwet. I told my people Samba ya kwamba mimi nikimaliza hii first term, kuna ile nyingine nikimaliza ya kwanza nikimaliza hii ya kwanza sitaki kuona badala ya mabati na matope. They are still there, unfortunately. Now, we cannot blame anyone because maybe there were challenges in the previous administration. We had one ward ambayo ilikuwa na challenges, lakini tulisema. So I was saying before I lose the point, ya kwamba nilisema kwamba nikimaliza hii term ya kwanza before tuende ya pili, klasi ya matope, bawa na mabati tutakuwa tumengoa. And I told my people juzi, you know there are some people Sambai wakiona mbunge mwingine majenga ghorofa fanya nini, wanasema wewe mheshimiwa wakili wapi ghorofa ya Marakwet West. I told my people, please, we have to be patient. I can go vertical, whereas bado kuna watoto ambao wanafagia asubuhi, wanachukua maji wanaweka chini. There's a lot of dust in the floor. I told my people, one, let us go first horizontal
to cover all the areas.
Tuweke classes zote tiles, tuweke roof nzuri ambayo watoto hata wanafunza watanyeshewa, so that they can be comfortable. And that is a kind of tutakuja kujenga ghorofa kwa ile miaka 15 ama 12 kufika mbele. Tutainua ghorofa, lakini for now we want our learners to be comfortable. Tuko na challenges kwa mambo ya steam. And the problem, and let me tell you Sabai, every constituency in our country iko na shida steam. Hakuna raia ali steam. Yes. Now that is why at some point ile finance bill ya juzi, although Wakenya walilia sana, lakini ilikuwa na kitu nzuri. It's something good. Mambo ya ilikuwa tumeweka 50 million kwa mambo ya stima.
Hiyo ndio ilikuja in the form of last mile connectivity.
Yes, ilikuja kama in the form of last mile connectivity. But unfortunately we lost baada ya maandamano, which is of course Kenyans have a right to go to the streets to picket, but we lost that 50 million. And my proposal is this, because hii stima is still under fully Ministry of Energy. Sasa ukitaka stima either yako kwa budget ama uende upigie magoti upio wanayo naambia tafadhali nipe tu one village, nipe project moja ya stima. We want, there is a very good proposal by Karole Mondi. I think MP wa Super South, if I'm not wrong. Karole Mondi has given a very good proposal on mambo ya budgeting. Akasema we want to budget money to go to constituencies so that I am sure kwamba this time round Marakwet West is getting 100 million ya stima, is getting 100 million for water, is getting 100 million for education. Hii mambo ya kwenda kupiga magoti sisi tumechoka. Yeah? Because stima inapeanwa if the ministry doesn't plan, then even a constituency may not get. But I appreciate kwamba we have programs for last mile connectivity. I have tried. We have done villages like Tenden, like Simat, like Kaploet, like use it tumefanya Kaplain and several others. We've done and many more coming. And I want to assure my people unequivocally that I am addressing the issue of last mile connectivity, and God willing, by 2027 we will have covered at least 60%, because currently we are at 35%, but we have more coming. In fact, we have been forced as CDF to put some money for last mile connectivity under CDF. This time round tumeongea na matching fund na REREC. So now I pay maybe 10 million, wananipa 7 na kwa 17 million. But do you know what? Electricity connectivity in this country is very expensive. With 17 million ama 20 million, you can only do 2 schemes, ama 3 schemes. Is what approximately. With 20 million, you can only do 2 transformers. Because it's very expensive. And then now Marakwet is also vast. Nyumba ingine kwa hapa, ingine kwa pale. We get a challenge in terms of also the area coverage. Naona hii inajaribu kumnifikia lakini utapanga mambo yake. Very good.
Ni sawa. Yes. Tuliona juzi now that tumeongelea mambo ya CDF. Tuliona Honorable Raila Odinga aliongelea mambo ya scrap of CDF. Na ukakuwa kwanza kukataa hiyo maneno. Maoni yako ni yapi?
I think some people live in utopia. Utopia. They live in their world of their own.
Ndio nasema nitakuja na dictionary lakini. Sawa tu.
So, inaitwa they live in their world of fantasy. One, we respect Raila Odinga. He's our father. Alipigania katiba ya nchi hii na vitu mingi na democracy. But on this one he got it wrong. And juzi tulikuwa public participation ya kurekebisha katiba ya Kenya tuweke CDF. Do you know what Kenyans asked? Walituuliza msikuje kutuambia hapa ati CDF inatolewa. Ati tuweke CDF kwa katiba. Mkuje hapa mtuulize ya kwamba mpate authority ya raia kwamba CDF iongezwe from 2.5% currently to 5%. Because one, somebody, if there is a fund in this country that has been felt by the people of the Republic of Kenya, is CDF. I was asking my people just, CDF ikitolewa, nani atajenga primary schools zetu? CDF ikitolewa, nani atajenga secondary schools zetu? Ikitolewa, nani atajenga office ya chief and assistant chiefs? Ikitolewa, nani atajenga police stations katika nchi hii? Can you imagine CDF inajenga mpaka police stations? Shida sasa ni ile wanasema huwezi funga mbunge kwa ndani ya police station. But so that the kind of projects that CDF is doing. Iba sasa hii Sambai. Ukiambiwa compare projects za county government. County governments receive billions of money in this country. Now compare na CDF. You will see the impact of CDF. And the reason is this, Sambai. Ni kwamba CDF is a well managed fund in this country. Kama kuna fund ambayo inakuwa very well managed ni CDF. And we support it fully. Na wanaomba wa Kenya kwamba waunge mkono.
So from the ground watu wanasema CDF is
more than 100%.
Na nikuuliza just to be curious. Ilikuwa itolewa alafu pesa nyingi kuja kuwa CDF.
Now the argument is a very stupid argument, a very unlawful argument ya kwamba ati pesa ya CDF itolewe iwe kwa county government. How is that possible? One, let me guide you and also those who are listening. Under the fourth schedule ya katiba ya Kenya, this country in its wisdom waligawa functions ya counties na ya national government. So hata ukitoa hata leo pesa ya CDF itolewe na iweke county government. County government cannot use that money because they cannot perform national government functions.
So mshirika kwa county itawatagawa sasa iende kwa MCs.
Itaenda kwa MCs lakini haitafanya primary schools, haitafanya secondary schools because it's not a function of the national government. But also this, ikitolewa pia, it will compromise the independence of parliament and the independence of national assembly. Kwa nini? One, saa hii Sambai, whether you support the government or you don't support the government, whether you are a loyalist or a psychopath, pesa ya CDF itaingia whether you are in government or in opposition. That is the only money ambayo inaingia na ya county bila kubagua. Now ile itafanyika ni hii. Hii pesa ya CDF ikitolewa na iwe kwa government. One, ukitaka kujenga primary school, wanasema kwanza Timothy alipiga yes man. Kama ulipiga no, utapata pesa. Unaambiwa bunge, wewe lazima ufanye hivi ndio upate development. My friend.
Ile Nyagashagwa alisema shares.
Maybe something with that one. So we don't want to go that direction. Umetoka hapo kwa nchi where you must be aligned to upate development. We want a fair country.
Now,
fair.
How do you survive as a
with
hii mambo unajua sasa hivi tumeona ni two parts. How do you maneuver as an independent candidate? Uko wapi? Unasimama wapi?
One is in fact, are you aware ya kwamba I think Article 85 of the Constitution that an independent member of parliament, if you associate with any political party, then you can lose your position. You can actually, someone can petition for your removal as a member of parliament by associating. So, one, in fact, Sambai, I have been reading the Constitution and this is the Constitution of the Republic of Kenya. There are two documents I cannot travel without. Ya kwanza ni katiba ya Kenya. This is the supreme law of the land. Hata nataka nitakutafutia kama.
Asante sana.
Ukishikwa na polisi na kuambia kwamba uko na makosa, unafungua tu article 50, the right to fair hearing. Unamsomea hata anasema waenda kukutana huko mbele. Ya pili ni Biblia. Yeah, those are the two books I cannot travel without. The two documents I cannot travel without. So, in fact, in my argument, and I will, when the time comes, I will write a book about this. To secure the independence of parliament, let all members of parliament be elected as independent members of parliament. That way, there will be no compromise. You cannot compromise a member of parliament who has free conscience in his rightful mind if he's elected on an independent ticket. Sometimes, by the way, you see, one, you are a member of parliament elected on a UDM ticket. You are a member of parliament elected on an ODM ticket. Before you are elected to parliament, one, the party has sponsored you. Could be financially or in kind. So, first of all, you will owe allegiance to the person who brought you to parliament before owing allegiance to the country which says perform oversight function. So sometimes, we have not reached, we are a democracy that has not grown to the level of parliament in UK or in US or in other European countries. We are still a struggling democracy. Yeah, we are a young democracy. So there's a lot of compromise. So
But kumekuwa pia na
so,
allegation ya
yeah.
kwamba members of parliament huwa wanalipwa ama wanapewa bribe wakitaka kupitisha motion. Hiyo hata ukue UDA.
No, I cannot confirm that. What I can confirm is there is intimidation. One ya kwamba, if you don't toe the party line, you will be subjected to a disciplinary process. Yeah. That of course of compromises, oversight of a law parliament. Ukiambia wewe, ukipiga kura hivi, tutakutoa kwa chama. Ukifanya hivi, utafanya kwa chama. So, unataka mbunge afanye. Mbunge anasema moja mimi nichunge. So, as much as we are talking about healthy democracy, we also must find a way of having members of parliament exercise their oversight without being intimidated, so that we grow our democracy, my brother. Yeah?
Okay, maybe in general, what are the expectations? What are the challenges that you are facing as a member of parliament in Marakwet?
One is, first of all, this country there is deficit of integrity in the Republic of Kenya. Deficit of integrity. And in this country, the hardest thing is to exercise your freedom of conscience. That is the most difficult thing that takes a man of integrity to stand firm and say this is right, this is wrong.
This is wrong.
So that is, let me tell you, what I hate in life, and Bob Marley talked about it, is something called mental slavery. Yeah, where you know this thing is wrong, but you see, because of because of, your conscience tells you what you are doing is wrong, but you say I have to compromise, so you live all your life being a slave of your mind. And let me tell you this, my brother. There are people in this country that history remembers for what they stood for, and they were never intimidated. And I will give you examples.
Okay.
Today history, if you Google here, Google Chelagat Mutai, who was I think the former MP for Eldoret, North. History remembers Chelagat Mutai in a manner that any other person cannot do. Google Jean-Marie Seroney, the former MP for Nandi North, who was at some point, I think, was the Deputy Speaker of Parliament. History remembers him for what he said in Parliament. Yeah, what does it say?
Philomena Chelagat Mutai was a prominent female Kenyan politician and human rights defender, known for her bold utterance in and outside Parliament.
Bold utterance. Google Jean-Marie Seroney.
John?
John is Jean. Kumongeleza dictionary hapa.
Niliona makuza ya constitution nikaona mambo ni
Google Jean-Marie Seroney. What we will tell you?
Jean-Marie Seroney. Inasema Jean-Marie Seroney was a Kenyan human rights advocate, legislator, and Amnesty International prisoner of conscience.
Yeah, prisoner of what? Of conscience.
Of conscience.
That is Jean-Marie Seroney. You will Google later.
Okay.
Utafute Martin Shiku. Tafuta JM Kariuki, ambaye aliuliwa 1975. Look for those guys. You see, sometimes we are very selfish to ourselves. You want to live a life of pleasing people, and you remember, hii ni watu ambao walikuwa 1975. If ukiambiwa ku rank other members of parliament who served with Jean-Marie Seroney, they have no place in Wikipedia. They are not anywhere. So the challenges we face. I want, for the record, history to remember me alongside Jean-Marie Seroney.
Okay.
History to remember me alongside Chelagat Mutai. Ya kwamba he was a defender of the Constitution of the Republic of Kenya. Yeah, because at the end of it all, you must be remembered for something.
Aya, tukiendelea, given your outspoken nature and strong constituency support, what are the top priorities for your people?
As I said earlier, one is leadership must be impactful. Leadership must be impactful. Impactful in the sense of the mandate assigned by under the Constitution. We have talked about the three key roles. Of course, also leadership in terms of development. You must also be ranked in terms of what you've done for your people. And development cannot be achieved overnight. William Ruto was the MP for Eldoret North, the current president, a man that we admire for his resilience and having risen up the ladder, was the MP for Eldoret North. Yes. From 202. From 97. From 97. But through his development record, the people of Eldoret North loved him, and he was elected as our fifth president. So it is not something that can be done overnight. But leadership must inspire, must inspire young people that that we can achieve certain impossibilities. Yeah.
Juzi niliona umelalamikia kuwa sideline kwa barua za TSC pale from the states.
Yeah.
Unaweza tuambia nini kuhusu?
Somebody. There are people in this country who are very selfish. One is last year, 2024. Last year, the president was in a 10. This year was in a tot. So when I was there, I because of the challenges that the people of Marakwet face, both east and west, in terms of employment of teachers. So I requested the president to consider affirmative action in the employment of teachers. So the president accepted and directed those letters be issued through the office of the regional commission in Nakuru. So some people went in the night and they were given those letters without considering other constituencies. A very selfish thing to do, but unfortunately we've addressed it. So we will address it politically. So we have addressed it, and we will find a solution to those who didn't get. They will be accepted.
Do you think there is a specific reason kwa nini ulikuwa sideline?
I've told you, just selfishness of some leaders, and of course could have something to do with maybe politics. Yeah. But I told those people that it is so selfish to sideline a constituency based on the conscience and the opinion of a leader. Yeah, so it's unfortunate because see, the people are the ones, and it doesn't augur well. That is why in this country there are some things you must address about. If you listen now, people are saying that sasa tuko kwa serikali, sisi hatuko kwa serikali, tumeingia so that tupate msaada kama wale kwa serikali. When a government takes power in an ideal society, those who are in opposition, without even handshake or broad-based, the country must be treated equal. I'm not saying it's not happening, but the sentiments that are coming are that tumeingia kwa serikali ndio watu wapone. It is wrong. A leader, just for example, when I'm elected, there was a former MP. When I'm elected, I cannot go again and say, since the MP was, I cannot assist. I must assist equally, not equitable, equal with the constituents from one end to the other. So those are things that our constitution does not speak to. Yeah? There must be equality in the sharing of the national care. So that is my position as a leader in this country.
Niliona pia juzi Honorable Murkomen alikuambia to be loyal to the government, upate mambo ya maendeleo kwa constituency yako.
Murkomen is one man I respect. A man who has risen from humble beginnings in Marakwet East to become the man that I am today. To become the man that he has become today. And he also taught me in university, like I said earlier. So he's a man that I have no issue with. He has guided me in many other times that he has guided me. And I respect him for what he has become. But one thing that we forget in this country is a leader that you cannot be punished because of your opinion. A leader should not be punished for what he or she thinks. One of the things that is uncommon in this country, and I want to read it to, I want to read it to you clearly here. There's something called conscience that many politicians don't want to hear. That huyu jamaa ako na conscience yake. This guy believes in a certain path, and he cannot change his mind. Freedom of conscience is protected under the Constitution. If you read Article 32, and I want to read it to you. Article 32 says, every person has the right to freedom of conscience, religion, thought, belief, and opinion. So those are words. Those are words of the Constitution of the Republic of Kenya. That every person, actually, it is so important. It is a very important fundamental human right that it has been anchored under the Bill of Rights in our Constitution. If you read also Article 27, Sambai, it says on equality and freedom from discrimination, that the state shall not discriminate directly or indirectly against any person on the basis of, among others, conscience, belief, and many others. So, conscience is something that lacks in this country. So that in as much as someone says, you must be like this, you must be like this, abandon your conscience, I have a problem with that. Sincerely speaking. I believe that conscience runs the nation. If a thing is right, it's right. If it's wrong, it's wrong.
So wewe kama una feel hapa ni mbaya, utasema
I cannot be a victim of mental slavery.
Huwezi fungwa kamba mguu.
I will pay the highest price for that.
There is also rumors that wacha niulize hivi. How is your relationship with the Kapsaret member of parliament, Oscar Sudi? And what do you have to say about rumors that I'm a sponsor
upon a project
in the Marakwet West?
No, you see, Oscar Sudi is a good man. Oscar Sudi has inspired so many young people, especially those who didn't attain the highest level of education. And Oscar has admitted ya kwamba yeye hakusoma sana. It is on record. But yeah, anasema yeye ni mkarabati. And true to it, he's a man who has risen from grass to grace. Being a matatu tout, he has risen to become one of the top politicians we have in Kenya, and a street businessman. So he's a man that I deeply respect. Of course, there are those things you are saying, but the people of Marakwet West know who their leader is. Wanasema Simba ni moja.
Simba ni moja.
Yeah, Simba ni moja. Ni wakili timu.
So regardless, hata kukuwe na mtu amesimamishwa.
No. Those are my friends. So we will go to the ballots, and the people know. People, let me tell you, even in Marakwet, we have a saying. Let me quote it, quote unquote. In Marakwet, we say "Ngwamseretio." Hata hii nyasi iko na akili. Yeah.
Haya, sawa. To our viewers, muendelee kuuliza maswali. Kama uko na swali unataka kuuliza mbunge wa Marakwet West Honorable Timothy, this is the time. Type hapo, tutakuwa tunamuuliza maswali, tutachukua maswali kadhaa tumuulize, alafu tusikie opinion yake kuhusu haya maswali. Haya, wacha nikuulize kuhusu you voted no to impeach me regarding Kipchumba. Why?
One of the things that people didn't understand, they thought that I voted no because I wanted to protect and defend regarding Kipchumba. My friend, somebody, I voted no to protect, to defend, and uphold our Constitution. I want to read to you Article 3. It says, I want to refer to you. Article 3 says that all the Constitution says every person has an obligation to respect, to uphold, and defend this Constitution. Meaning, the Constitution of the Republic of Kenya. Sambai, in my own opinion as a lawyer, and as a man of free conscience, I believed, and I still believe, that all matters taken aside, remove Rigathi from the equation, remove William Ruto from the equation, all matters remaining constant. That motion was frivolous, was vexatious, was null and void from the beginning.
Lakini ni kama pia ulisikika uki-apologize.
No, you see what happened. So first of all, I didn't believe in the substance of that motion. And even if it was my worst enemy, somebody, I would not have voted for it. And I have lived today to celebrate the decision I made. Because I know I made the right decision at that particular period in time. And let history record. And I've said, let history record that I didn't agree with that motion. With the substance, legally speaking, interpreting the Constitution. Because one, we set a very bad precedent. We lower the threshold for impeaching a leader at the level of the deputy president at that time. And that thing may come to haunt this country even the next 50 years. Saying, why are you raising the threshold for impeachment, yet you lower the threshold for impeachment at a particular period in time? So it is something that I read the impeachment motion, I read the grounds, and I wasn't satisfied. It has nothing to do with the person of the deputy president at that time.
So I think
it has everything to do with the Constitution of the Republic of Kenya that I protect, that I sought to protect, to defend, and to uphold. It has nothing to do with them. If it comes today in the same manner, even for any other person, even for my worst enemy, and let me ask you something. If, for example, this thing, the matter is still being adjudged at the High Court, what if it comes out in the future that it was not done procedure, that the impeachment was against the Constitution? It will embarrass Parliament. It should embarrass even those who voted. So my opinion remains the same, that it has nothing to do with the former deputy president. It has everything to do with our Constitution.
Kuna pia mtu ameuliza hapa kuhusu now that we are talking about Gachagua. Ameuliza, recently the Court of Appeal declared the empanelment of 3-judge bench by Deputy Chief Justice Philomena Mwilu to hear his impeachment case against Rigathi Gachagua.
You see, somebody, those are the things I talk about. They rushed, this thing was rushed, and now, the Court of Appeal has said, the Court of Appeal has said that the decision to empanel the bench by DCJ was not in accordance with the law. You know what that means? Unless that decision is appealed, someone has already gone to, has filed a petition before the Judicial Service Commission for the removal of the Deputy Chief Justice. So those are the kind of, somebody, we must respect our Constitution. We must defend our Constitution. That is why, if there is an arm of government that we must protect in this country, somebody, is our judiciary. Our judiciary is the heart, is the soul, and should remain conscious. Remember, during BBI, we would have amended our Constitution were it not for the Supreme Court to say the process leading to it was illegal. Were it not for our courts, we'd have had issues with the elections. We respect our courts. That is why, during election petitions, when they make a decision, we say we disagree with the decision, but because we respect our Constitution, we respect the decision, but we disagree with the outcome. Yeah, we respect the decision, but we disagree with the grounds for giving that vote.
Kumekuwa na vitisho pia kutoka kwa CS na ya kushika Gachagua. What do you think about that?
no one is above the law in this country. No one is above the law. If there are grounds for the arrest, we have a free country, we have a democratic country. If there are grounds for his removal, for the arrests, then of course let the law take its course. Let the law take its course. If there are grounds, if there are no grounds, then the courts will determine.
Haya, kuna mtu anaitwa hapa Beatrice ameuliza, kuna wakati aliongelea mambo ya Chebara, the state of Chebara. Amepikia wapi ama iliingia nyasi?
That is, I made a statement that most people misinterpreted that decision. I made a statement with regard to Chebara. But we appreciate this Thursday. My team was in Chebara institutions with the contractor, and we thank God. Those are projects that have collapsed since 2022. 2012. That project was abandoned. The contractor abandoned the site because they were not paying. There was some mismanagement of funds. Even the matter is before ESCC to investigate those who misuse the funds that were meant for the institution.
Okay.
But I want to assure the people of Marakwet that I will do all it takes to make sure that those institutions are completed. Actually, those are projects that they have really ashamed us. Yeah? Because they are monuments. They are looking like monuments. But I thank God that already the process has started, and we hope very soon that we will complete it. And I thank His Excellency for the order that he made that those projects be completed.
Kuna huyu anaitwa Yatich Zef anauliza, kindly enumerate development initiative across around world.
Yeah. We already covered. We have a lot of projects for CDF projects from one end to the other. For example, there's a school called Koitilia that have not been given any CDF funds. We are doing. We are completing a dining hall there. We are doing a dormitory. We have allocated money, which is starting very soon. We have a school. We have many schools there, but we have a lot of projects for CDF along the entire roadway. In fact, I'll be going there to launch electricity connectivity in Koitilia, and I'll be doing a tour of the world to launch the projects that we have done in that area. There's a school called Kapkat High School that has told for long, but we got some funds around 4.5 million. We'll be finishing that story bid.
Okay.
Yeah. And also we've also put money for CDF.
So lingine mtu anauliza, included in your manifesto was an element of quarterly peace meetings along Kerio Valley. How many meetings has he conveyed this far?
We thank God that first of all we have stability. There were issues between in a road ward when I took office, and I thank God that so far we have had relative peace in the part of Marakwet West, and we thank God, and we will be convening those meetings when need arises.
How has he pushed for remuneration and welfare for our NPR officers?
We have done that. In fact, I even brought a statement in Parliament that was responded to by the chairman of Interior in the House, and as we speak, recently they were paid their remuneration, and we are very happy. Those the NPR in Marakwet West, even East, are doing very well, and they are being remunerated, and I'm very happy about that.
Mwingine anaitwa Jonathan anasema, sisi tunatambua Simba ni mmoja. Wengine unasema mimi siwajui. Uliza mambo ya TSC letters, tumongelea hiyo. Uliza wakili, kuna project ya stima iko complete but kufunguliwa imekuwa muda. Sasa kuspecify. That is now.
But let me say this, that one, we have done projects in Mugurkorai. There's one there are several we've done. We are in the process of finalizing. So acha tuulize nini kidogo. Very soon we will be making sure kwamba hizo projects ni kabisa.
Okay. Haya, sawa. Nadhani tutamalizia hapo mambo ya maswali. Maybe just to our viewers, vijana wenzetu, majenzis, unaweza waambia nini as a parting shot?
One is we have to be patriotic to our country. Somebody, we have one country. And the most important thing for our country is stability, political, economic, and even legal stability. Because if there is no peace, there will be no development in our country. First of all, stability is very important. During the Gen Z uprising, we almost lost everything in this country. Yeah, it's true. So first of all is stability, and I have no doubt that the government is doing everything to ensure that create space for employment and empowering the youth. So let us be patriotic in our country. We do what is best for us, and everyone to work hard.
Talking along that line, what do you think about the broad-based government? Do you think they will be elected in 2027?
One of the issues,
you are independent
in terms of philosophically speaking, we should not be having these things called Mkate, CG handshake, CG broad-based. Those are things you will not be having in this country. And the only way somebody to cure that, and that is why I support the NANCO report, particularly on the creation of the office of the leader of opposition. I want to give you a perfect example. By the way, in this country, we have a mongrel of a presidential system and a parliamentary system. It's not very clear. That is why the other day we made a standing order to bring in ministers to come and answer questions in our presidential system, something that is not allowed. Yeah, but because it is not working so well, that is why we had to amend the standing orders to bring in an element of ministers coming in to answer questions. But if you interpret the constitutional objective, that thing is illegal. So one, to address the issue of broad-based future handshake, let us amend the constitution. Create the office of the official leader of opposition. Let that leader of opposition be nominated or sit in parliament as the leader of opposition to be able to ask the government questions at the floor of the house. The problem we have is this. One, you have William Ruto, who was won by a margin of 200,000 votes. Sorry. You have a president who was won with a difference of 200,000 votes. You have number two, who is commanding a superior number of people who voted for him. That person will not govern peacefully if that person is not well taken care of under the constitution. So ideally, in working democracies, let that person who is number two be the leader of opposition. Let him have his shadow cabinet. Wacha akae bunge, akuwe na wabunge wake, and let them also, that office should also be given money, so that leader of opposition can be able to oversight the government with some certain resources.
Now I could be obviously.
Yeah, certain resources, so that we have an effective country. Currently, as we speak, there is no opposition, and the opposition is very important in any democracy. An opposition is to critique, to check the excesses of the executive, to avoid something called tyranny. Yeah, because if you have a president who is a dictator, we have a very good president, by the way, William. I can tell you that. For a fact, we have a very good president who actually respects, upholds, and protects the constitution. But that time will come. You know, by the way, what we have now is a winner takes it all democracy, where the winner takes everything. If in future, in the next 10 years, you have a president who is a dictator, this country will go to the dogs. You have someone who say, we cannot hear anything from the opposition. I don't want handshake. We cannot share power. My friend, it will be chaos. It will be chaos. So we have to look for a way. That is why what President Ruto did is trying to accommodate the opposition. Because, there is no place for Raila Odinga under the constitution. And he still commands support, some following, some numbers. So it was a way of accommodating him into government, so that government can be able to deliver on its mandate. Yeah.
Sawa mheshimiwa, wacha tuachie hapo kwa leo. We appreciate you kwa kuja. And we're also looking forward to having other members of parliament. Tunaona tuchambue mambo ya maendeleo across the Rift Valley, maybe the South Rift. So to our viewers, asanteni sana. Always keep it low on every Sunday at 8 p.m. So at the Arena Show.
Thank you so much, Sambai, for hosting me this evening. I'm very grateful to the viewers and in particular to the residents of Marakwet West. I want to sincerely thank you for the support that you have given me this far. We are delivering on our promise. Some may not happen now, but will happen with time. Rome was never built in a day, but I am sure, I have no doubt that in me, in a leader, you have a leader who will defend your interests at the floor of the parliament, who will defend your interest anywhere for the betterment of our constituency. Napkaitai na Simba ni moja.
Simba ni moja.
Asante sana.